Hi, I'm Nick Pierce, the Barefoot Prepper from Are You Ready Radio and the Zombie Outpost here on Tips in the Bunker, Series 3. In this segment, we're going to be talking about personal protection and self-defense devices. So, stick around. We got a great one for you. So a lot of times when people think self-defense, they think like, oh, karate and martial arts, or even lethal force, such as if you have a CCW or have a handgun, or depending on what state you're in, just open carry. Well, the last thing you ever want to use is lethal force, but yet you always want to gain some small advantage over someone that may be out to harm you, attack you, abduct you, or even worse. So I'm going to be covering some simple, easy to use personal protection devices in this segment. So first, I want to look at, and I also want to discuss some of the benefits and pros and cons of each one. Now, when it comes to self-defense, personal protection, it's just something to give you the slight advantage or edge over someone that really means to do you harm. And lethal force may not always be called for. And of course, in some of the stuff that I'm going to be discussing, research your local laws and ordinances to make sure that it's legal to have some of this stuff, because it will vary state to state, maybe county to county, and city to city. So let's get started. Many of you may be familiar with things such as pepper spray and stun guns. I'm also going to introduce to you a couple things that are maybe just, I guess we'll say, a little more sneaky and more covert when it comes to a personal protection device. Now, I'm referring to these things as devices and not necessarily weapons. These are not weapons. And if you've ever been pulled over before and someone asks you, do you have any weapons on you? You say, yes, I have a pocket knife. It's like, okay, get out of the car. If you say, do you have any weapons on you? And you say, no. And they ask what the knife is. It's a tool. You use it to cut things, open boxes, stuff like that. It's not considered a weapon. Same thing with these. These are not necessarily weapons. They're personal protection devices. So, they're tools. So let's get started. We're going to start with the stun gun. So there's a number of different varieties of stun guns on the market. Take a look at these right here. These are some of the more common ones. They also make little block stun guns. They're unitaskers. Again, you know me, if you've ever watched some of these series before, I like multi-function items that can be used or concealed easier than a big, bulky, just one clunky cube of stun gun electricity ready to jolt someone. So in the cases like these two, and even this one here, this is what they call a lipstick stun gun. This right here is a flashlight stun gun, and they have a flashlight. It's a very practical device. It has a high and low beam and a strobe that'll disorient someone if they're trying to attack you. Well, the other advantage that both these have is not just the flashlight. They have what's called an arm brake, which are these barbs that you see around the tip here. And what that is if someone gets a hold of you and you're not ready to discharge a stun gun yet, you're not discharging the stun gun, but maybe you can get out of it, it digs into the skin to break their grip if you have this. It's also a nice blunt object, and just being hit with one of these sharp barbs on the end Again, it gives you a slight advantage, so no strength necessarily needed. Now, if it gets to the point where you do need to discharge the stun gun, these two both have safety switches on the back that need to be in the on position, and this switch needs to be all the way up. Now, certain stun guns work differently. This bypasses the flashlight feature, has this thing ready to deploy, and then this red button is there when you're ready to shock someone. This one works the same way. Again, safety in the on position. Switch all the way up, okay, past the flashlight, and push the button. So, this will deliver a jolt that'll, again, release any grip, keep distance, and even the sound of a stun gun for someone that may be coming at you in an aggressive manner may be enough to deter them without you even having to use it. Now, they make other versions of the stun gun. This is a very simple red switch zaps, green switch turns on flashlight. This is one of my favorites because, again, it has the clip. You can clip right onto your pocket or belt so it's ready to use when you need it. In the on position, it's ready to go. And you flip that switch up. When you need it, it's a very fast zap. So when it comes to just the stun gun itself, there are close range weapons. Now I want to bring you over here to something that's more distant related. And this is pepper spray. And there's also pepper foam, which I'm going to discuss with you. Pepper spray is the same thing. Sometimes it comes in a little case. Sometimes it just comes in a little canister with a clip on it. This one had a keyring adapter. You can keep it on your keyring. And what I like about pepper spray is I can have it in my hand ready to go, and no one knows until I'm actually ready to use it. This typically has a distance of about 10 feet, sometimes more. I know that on labels you'll see it sometimes spec'd at 15 or 20 feet. I always cut that number down by at least a quarter to be safe and test it too. Pepper foam is more of a wider spread, and it's more for close range. That's why corrections officers prefer this, because when they're in confined spaces and they want a wide mist or discharge of the spray at close range, they can get it up on someone that they're trying to restrain, detain, calm down, or anything like that. But nonetheless, these are great for distance. So if something is close range, or maybe you have asthma, or maybe, pepper foam, may not be something for everybody to carry, and it all depends on the situation. The other thing is batons. A lot of folks like to keep these in their car, in their purse, even just on their belt or in their back pocket. I personally walk with a baton at night because Magic Prepper Cat, if you've watched some of the other segments, we walk at night. And we're afraid, sometimes maybe there may be a stray dog or an animal that may want to get a hold of him. And especially now that he's older, he doesn't want to fight that much. So, he will. But it's just another advantage instead of me having to shoot an animal or have to go hand to hand with it because you don't know and you want to keep distance. You can deploy a baton and use this to poke, jab, keep distance between maybe your dog, your cat, or another animal. And it's also a very handy defense tool or device for if you are personally being attacked. The baton, though, is a weapon that you may want to take maybe a little training class in to understand and really know how to use. One of the worst moves that I see people do a lot, they open up a baton and they're ready right here and they go to strike. And I'm like, this is the worst move to start with. I hate this move. It's that number one move in baton training or stick or Eskimo, whatever, and it's that move. This move just says that you're about to hit someone. They get right up underneath you. They can take that baton away from you. There's other things out there. I don't know if you ever heard of a Kubaton. And no, I understand what this may look like. That's not what it is. This is just goes on your key ring, and they make other key rings like shaped like cats that have little ears and stuff on it. And it's just another thing that, some of these things may not require a lot of strength to use, but it just gives you that advantage. So when someone's coming at you or you need to defend yourself, having one of these just to be able to get rid of them or push them off of you or make things a little uncomfortable for them, they think that you may know more than what you look like you know. So again, you get someone in the ribs, any soft area, shoulder, even eyes with one of these, It's not pleasant. Again, it's something to give you an advantage. They also make what's called a tactical pen. It's like aircraft grade aluminum. It's a practical pen that actually writes. And the way the handle is shaped kind of fits in your hand here. And again, you have a very effective and very damaging self-defense tool right here. The other advantage is it's also a rescue tool. On the end of this, if you look closely, it has this point right here. And that point is called a glass break. The glass break, you can keep this in your vehicle, so if you get stuck and trapped and you need to get out, you hit your window with this and it'll shatter the glass so you can actually escape a vehicle. Maybe it fell in the water, rolled over, you can't open up the doors, you need to get out of the vehicle. If you're able to move and you need to escape your vehicle, they call it a glass break, and it's also a rescue tool. Again, kind of like the Kubaton tactical pen, this is also a pen that writes, has a little mini cartridge in there, it's refillable. This is the tactical pen is refillable too. This, however, has a little hidden secret, a little knife inside. Well, a knife inside of a pen, that's a weapon. No, it's not a concealed weapon, it's a letter opener. So when you have this on your desk or you have this on you or something like that, and it's a letter opener, even though it has a very sharp edge, a very sharp point, and a serrated edge here, guaranteed to open up even the toughest boxes and corrugated product and write with. It is a tool. You also have a comb. These come in all different designs. I just grabbed the pink one from the store because that's what we had. But this pen right here also has a hidden knife inside, just like the knife pen. Serrated edge here, sharp edge there, very fine point there. But nonetheless, these are just some of the items. The other thing you may be looking at here is this pile of metal, bent metal in a red box. A 10-pack of what they call Caltrops. Well, if you ever saw the old ninja movies where like ninjas are running and then someone throws these jack-looking things on the floor, look like little jacks that you play with, and the ninjas are, well, those are called Caltrops. These are very popular. A lot of folks keep them in their car. And here's why. If you're being followed, instead of engaging in a high-speed chase, speeding up, endangering yourself, your passengers, or other people on the road, having these in your vehicle will give you the advantage to get away. Now, you typically have them stacked up, is when they're all together like this, is to simply roll down your window when someone's following you, and you know that they're following you, okay? Find a clear spot where you can then, once your window is rolled down, toss these over the top of your car towards the rear. Out of your window, over, try to aim for the middle of your vehicle, over the hood, over the roof, over towards the back of your vehicle. Even if it hits your windshield, rolls down the trunk, whatever, it still lands behind you. Maybe it may scratch up the paint a little bit, but what this does is they come in packs of 10, at least 10 of these little things all over the road behind your vehicle where someone's following you, and it's going to flatten their tires. It will rip up their tires. This way you do not have to engage in dangerous high-speed car chases. You don't have to try to keep doing weird maneuvers and try to outsmart them and turn and speed and take a chance on injuring or wrecking your vehicle, because if you wreck your vehicle, you're not going to get away. Well, I hope that the information that I shared with you in our personal protection alternative self-defense items segment here helped prepare you to seriously think and answer the question, are you ready? I'm Nick Pierce, the Barefoot Prepper from Are You Ready Radio and the Zombie Outpost. Stay tuned for more segments. And don't forget to follow, like, poke, comment, and all this. All in the comments right here. So, thanks for tuning in to Tips in the Bunker, Series 3.